This
Yeah,
conference will now be recorded.
thank you
Thank you.
all so much for having me. Thanks, Peggy and Sherry. My name is Leo Neal. I'm the outreach manager for the Metastatic Breast Cancer Project. We apologize that it's me and not Dr. Wagley here tonight. He's very much looking forward to sharing time with all of you, hopefully at the next meeting. We're working that out. But it's been an honor to partner with MBCC and ANCAN for a long time. So we're grateful for the repeated opportunities to connect with you all. And it's really nice tonight to put some faces to some names. So if it's okay, I'd love to maybe give a quick summary of the project for those of you who may not know about it as a teaser, perhaps to Dr. Rugley's bigger description and discussion with you all next time. You can give me all your softball questions and you can think of some really tricky, thorny ones for him for next time. You're also welcome to ask me and I will write them down and ask him as well later. So a quick summary of the project is our goal is to enable any patient in the US and Canada with metastatic breast cancer to participate in research. As you're probably very aware, most people get their care in a community setting where research may not be performed, and they don't always get asked to participate in research. And I think it's something like only 5% of cancer patients have participated in research. And technology has come a long way, as we are very aware right now, especially. Um, and so that opens up a big opportunity for us to reach more people. And I think it's pretty obvious to this group probably why we need more patient partnership and involvement and data to understand and tackle and move forward. The more we have and the more unique experiences and samples we can collect and share, the more precise questions we can ask, and the faster we can hopefully answer them. Why does one person respond to a certain treatment and not another? What's the experience for a particular subgroup? And so we've partnered with patients, advocacy groups, scientists, and doctors to build a project where you can enroll yourself on the website, mbcproject.org. The steps, it's designed to be very easy, low burden on patients. Tell us about you and your cancer experience. You fill out an online consent to give us permission to do the work. And our team will then collect copies of your medical records. You can opt in to let us request a portion of your stored tumor tissue if you'd like. And then we send you a simple saliva kit to your home, and also a blood kit if you'd like. Our team does the back work, then we gather, de-identify the data, and then most importantly, we release it to the world. We're very fortunate that we're not tied to publication funding, so we're able to release it so that any researcher can add it to their own work. If they're studying a particular cohort or they're thinking about a particular problem, they have our data to add to their work. We also collect a unique set of data, so maybe to help researchers think in a new way. And also, you can access it as well. If you go to mbcproject.org, there's a data tab, and you can click on it and go through and see our patient-reported data, as well as the data put on CBio portal or elsewhere. And if you ever have any questions about it, let us know, or any feedback, that would be great. It's really been incredible to see the generous and selfless response of patients. I think as of today, we've hit the 5,800 a number of patients who have registered, clicked Count Me In. I think we just hit that number a few minutes ago, so we're very, very grateful. That's the quick and nerdy version of what the project is, kind of the nuts and bolts. Dr. Wagley will join soon to give you a more deep understanding of the project and would love to tackle all your super complicated questions or have discussions with you all about what you're thinking about and how we can partner. In the meantime, I'm happy now to answer what questions I have. I also invite you to poke around the website and reach out to us anytime. If you call or you email, you'll reach a person, one of my teammates. And then again, just wanted to say thank you so much to MBCC and to all the patients. It really takes a partnership.
Totally agree. And we can't thank
Yeah.
you all enough too. Being able to answer questions of a lot of our guys and stuff when they come up. So this is wonderful. Anyone have any questions? Lee,
Yeah,
right there, Lopa.
Great.
hi Lee, this is Lopan. Thank you so much. I'm from Breast Cancer Hub, and of course, we collaborate with the MBCC for all the male breast cancer. And my question is that, as you mentioned, that you send a kit to derive the saliva, right? So, what do you do with the saliva? Is it like you're checking on the DNA to see some mutations, or if the patient is already having, so are you specific for any type of cancer that you're looking for when you take the saliva? Like, and how do you determine that?
Yeah, great question. So the saliva is our baseline DNA, and then we take we use that to compare to the sequencing of the tumor tissue or the CFD DNA that we can get through a blood sample. That's a new technology that's really growing, especially at Broad Institute where we're situated. So it's a comparative tool
So,
for the
so what I'm understanding is with the DNA, what you're trying to do is you're comparing with a control DNA, and as you take, so you're taking this from the patient who is already having cancer, right? And then you're trying to compare it with a control set, and that comparative study, that is what you're giving it out to the community, like where the sequence changes there.
Yes, as well as if there are serial biopsies, biopsies at different points in treatment, we work to collect those. We, in some of our projects, are talking about if patients are interested in serial blood draws as well. The information there to kind of track treatments and mutations throughout.
So Lee, may
Yeah.
I add something? So
Yes.
think of it more as a mapping rather than a trial. It's not so much a control set. It's more of the idea that they are mapping the DNA and I think also now the RNA of breast cancer. And they're doing this also for other cancers. The reason I know about it is because I'm very familiar with the prostate cancer project, which followed the breast cancer. The breast cancer, I think, was the second one. Isn't that right?
It was the flagship project, the first project.
The first one. Yeah. Oh, it was the first one. Oh, okay. I thought Stacy. Why did I think Stacy's was the first one? Anyway, not Stacy. I'm thinking of
Corey.
Corey. I thought Corey's was the first one.
Yeah, second.
But it's really more of a It's really more of a mapping idea. So it's all anonymous data. But one of the big benefits is that if there is a breakthrough or a study, and a man or a woman has a mutation where there's suddenly something has happened, then the project will let the people know who have that mutation, but they're not identifying anybody. They're just telling them that something's happened. So it's really a big community project. And we've, in the prostate cancer world, we've actually had cause to use the database a couple of times, where we've had people with very unusual mutations, and we've gotten in touch with the project and said, have you seen this anywhere else, or what else have you seen with it, or something like that. And of course, it's available to researchers as well. Is it fair to say it's an open database? Is it not, Lee?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the founding open data. It's one of the core principles.
Mm.
Organizations
And I would say to any of the guys on here, it's a very easy process to get on, and you should have complete confidence in the project in terms of your confidentiality and privacy and all of that. And we love working with these guys. So, you know, anything I can tell you from what we know on the prostate cancer side, I'd be happy to tell you, but it's easy. We've probably had 20 or 30 guys, maybe more, that have signed up from our outreach. I don't know how many, but a lot.
Yeah.
And Lee, is this only for metastatic guys, or is it for anyone with the breast
Our
cancer?
project's only for metastatic.
Right.
That's what, yeah, where we focus.
Yeah, I just thought we'd clarify that.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. And Dr. Lopa, any other questions you have?
not now, but
It's hard to hear you, Lopa. We
not now, but maybe at
can't hear you.
you can hear me.
There,
Okay.
now better.
Okay, let me just check my. Yeah, I'm on the full volume. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. So not as of now, but I think as we progress, if I come across if anything pops up, so I'll definitely ask. And also, sorry, like one thing, Ellie, so if we would like to collaborate, right? Like I know with MBCC, it's about male breast cancer, but I work exclusively for female breast cancer and also other type of cancer. So if we would like to work with you, so how do we go? Like we go to the website and we go and put in our data, right? Like what we are wanting to, how we can collaborate, something like that.
Yeah, you know what, even easier, I can give you my email address right now and we could connect, or perhaps Peggy or Sherry could.
Yeah, I can connect you too. We'll connect you through
Yeah.
email. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah.
That will definitely work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if we're on that, Lee, we thank you very much. And Ron Rappaport, we're going to go to you now about the brother to brother concept and idea you've come up with and has started putting together.
Okay. So I came up with the idea that, as Rick had mentioned, the brothers just talking to each other or conferring with each other on the Facebook. I wanted to put a voice to the face. And I wanted to offer them a source of communication that offered a personal touch. Uh, So not all the brothers are on Facebook, and many have questions and concerns that they really didn't want to put out in over a digital format. And we can understand that. You know, a lot you just don't want to put your information out there. And like Rick said, you know, you might get a two sentence answer and that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is I called it I had to find a name for it, so I came up with a brother to brother lifeline, and you can tell me how that sounds. That's what I came up with, and we're going to use it as an introductory communication to our new brothers, making them feel welcome and introducing them to all our resources. And we have a team of brothers formed that we can hopefully match up their experiences to the new brothers coming in. And of course, any brother who wants to utilize the tool, who's an existing brother, can do that. All they have to do is email me. We put that out in an e-blast, and I put my email address out there. So I came up with a team, and I'll announce the team. The team right now is Brett, Michael Singer, John Falk has agreed, Bob DeVito, Alan Wilson, John Warner, Rod Ritchie, and Gary Wong. And of course, anybody who wants to join is welcome. So, but we thought we'd start out with a small team to start with. And I put out a protocol So we can keep it to be a rather seamless process. And so for the new brothers, Peggy and Sherry uh, will obtain their information from the website inquiry form and contact the new brother and get a signed release to allow us to contact them and any other signed waivers that are needed. So once permission's obtained from Peggy or Sherry, they will email me with the name of the brother and phone number, and I will make the initial contact discussing the brother's situation and informing them of MBCC and determining how best to offer help. So there's a couple different scenarios that could happen. The new brother may not have any concerns at all at the time or have multiple concerns and may need to speak to one or more of the team members. Now, if the new brother has no concerns, I will follow up with a twice a month call to check on their progress after getting verbal permission to do so. And I'm going to do these calls for about 3 months, and I think that should give the new brothers a good idea that we really care, about their welfare. Uh, I will determine the new brothers' concerns that need addressing, and then I'll contact one or more of the team members to ask them to contact the new brother. New brothers, like I said, will be partnered with team members that have similarities if possible. Uh, Team members will make their own determination if continued conversations are needed. So we'll leave it up to them. If the new brother and team member agree, FaceTime could be utilized as well, or Zoom or whatever. So we're encouraging any and all MBCC brothers to contact me if they would like to be added as a team member, and we want a diverse group of brothers on the team. Now, in the event an MBCC brother learns of a man who would like to be in the family, who was not aware that we even existed, we're going to just ask them to please inform Peggy or Sherry to make the initial contact, to get the waivers signed, and then pass the name off to me. Now, there could be a situation where a lot of our guys and gals give out their cards with their names on it, and somehow a doc or we're at a convention and we give out our cards to doctors, and doctors give it to people that are interested that have male breast cancer. If that happens, again, just contact Sherry or Peggy, and they'll get the initial contact made. Now, for our existing brothers, MBCC will, like I said, we put out the email blast on our secret Facebook page. Brothers who would like to utilize the tool, again, can email me with their contact information. For our foreign brothers, and Peggy just mentioned, we've got, I think, 18 in Kenya right now.
In it now, right.
Yeah. They will be handled through Skype. And I think that would be the best way to do it. We will recruit our foreign brothers willing to be on the team. So whoever we can get on the team, that would be great.
Yep. That could work. FaceTime works great with them too. And
Right.
Zoom, we're doing Zoom and WhatsApp. So all those apps would allow you to communicate with the foreign brothers. That's how Joseph and I connected yesterday for over an hour and a half, was literally through FaceTime, and it was excellent. So.
And we're also going to put out a little note that team members are encouraged to make any kind of suggestion to make the program better. So,
yeah.
It's a new program. Now, I just wanted to go over, when I make my initial contact with a new brother, I'm going to have some talking points, and I'm going to pretty much go down the line. I'm going to give a brief introduction, how Peggy and Sherry formed the coalition. I'm going to give a brief story about Brett, his 7 years going undiagnosed, and his promise that no man will ever feel alone after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer." Now, we have over 500 members in the group. So you know darn well that on that Facebook, our secret Facebook, I don't see that
No,
many names. So there's a lot of guys who don't use
totally.
Facebook. Right now,
That don't maybe use Facebook, but we have them on. We have over 300 on an email blast that we give
right,
out. So
right.
we're trying to cover them as much as we can. So
Right. And if
Michael.
they're into Facebook, I'll tell them about the secret web, secret page. And Peggy, you can get them on
yeah,
there.
then we invite them in.
Right.
Through Kenya already, we've had 5 guys request to come in to the group already. So they're
Awesome.
into the private group from Facebook.
Awesome.
So that was as of about an hour ago. So we
Good.
know Joseph is getting the message out to his brothers. There's Michael. Yes, go ahead. Michael Singer.
Yeah, Ron, question. If somebody gets in contact with us, they're metastatic or they're inflammatory or they're early stage and we want to put them with, maybe they want to talk to somebody in that group, who's going to have that information? Are we going to share that, or is that too private?
Well, what
I, I,
I'm
I
sorry. Go ahead.
actually have all of that, Michael. The main list that I keep everyone's original diagnosis, and if they originally were not metastatic and did go to metastatic, that's all in my database.
It's
So
in our database, yeah. And
So then if somebody calls us, they get through to us somehow and they ask for metastatic, we're going to refer them back to you? Is that what we should
yeah,
do?
maybe referring back to Sherry or I, we check the list, but also we
Yeah.
check to make sure we have a waiver just to protect ourselves,
Right. And thank you for mentioning that. That's a great question because I was just going to go to the bios under, survivor stories. That's how I
Yeah,
was going to get there.
and not
You're gonna
everybody's
be-
on the stories. Yeah, we don't
Right.
have everybody there.
So that
And
was a great question. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Some of those stories are several years old.
very
right.
much so, but also in the same sense, some brothers just don't want to share their story. So that is not a requirement for them to be part of the family, as we tell them every single day. If you want to share your story, we are more than happy to put it up there. But if you don't, we totally understand. So
Another item I was going to talk to them about was telling them about these monthly teleconferences, which they can get an invite
yeah,
to. Topics are all related to things such as the latest developments in breast cancer treatments, resources available to us, such as Citizens, MBC Connect, Recovery Shirt, metastatic breast cancer, and all that. And telling them about our annual meeting that we have. Well, hopefully we have.
yeah.
It's probably
And that's up
difficult
in the
to-
air still with COVID-19, literally. And
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have some answers soon.
And I was going to tell them that, we attend national conventions such as the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium. We go to health fairs, public events to raise awareness. We work on hospital patient advisory boards. We lobby in Washington. Just kind of what we do. We meet with groups at high schools, breast cancer support groups, and then that kind of thing. And I was also going to mention to them that all the work is voluntary, and we do not push anybody to do anything. We realize some of the brothers are not in good health, or volunteering is not their thing. There is no pressure on anyone, and our purpose is to be there for the male breast cancer survivors when they need us, and to make them aware that we are always going to be there for them. Yeah, and I'm going to mention to them that we are a 501c3 not-for-profit organization. I guess that's it. I will mention that we have a team of brothers, that have a wide variety of experiences going through the male breast cancer journey that are available to talk to, should they have any questions or concerns. And that we also have some doctors on board and researchers who we can refer questions to if nobody else can answer them. So that was kind of the gist of it. It's a work in progress. I'd like to get anybody's feedback, what they think.
I think it's
Good
amazing.
job.
I think that's great.
Good.
We usually get a
Brett
call
here. I don't
from,
know if anybody.
Oh, there's Brett.
There's Brett.
Brett?
I got on a few minutes ago, but everybody was talking, so I didn't really want to interrupt anybody while they're making their presentation. But and
So you
sorry, I
must
think
be
Michael, you were
calling them.
talking, but maybe. And Riley's in the back; she's talking too. So if you can hear her, so sorry about that. But no, Ron, I think this is a great idea, and I think thank you for spearheading it and getting it together. Cause, I've said all along, I will talk to any one of our guys or anybody that gets diagnosed, but everybody's case is different. Everybody's story. Sorry, Riley in the background. But everybody's story is different, and but there are similarities between each other where we can have input on this, but I'm not metastatic, so I can't answer a lot of questions for somebody that's metastatic, whereas several of our other men can. They can give you all their symptoms. So I think it's a great thing, and I thank you for stepping up and starting it, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. Glad to have you.
I've got something to say, Ron. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Hi. I think just the point made there about matching metastatic and non-metastatic brothers up is paramount.
Yes. Yes.
Very much so.
And I'm glad I found out that I can actually get that information from either Brett, from either Peggy or Sherry. So that'll help tremendously.
Yes, Lopa?
Yes, so regarding the database, right, Sherry, that you have. So my question is that, do you get to update for example, as Ron had asked, if the stage, right, like as Michael put it out. So do you keep updating? Like, for example, if someone, when he comes in the group, he may be at stage 2, but he might be progressing to stage 3. So do the brothers voluntarily tell you the condition so that you can update the database, because which has to be very recent, right?
Yes.
Well, most of the time, it's because I'm on social media so much that I'm in the pages, and I see that things have progressed because they put their information out there. There's probably a lot of them that are not updated. We did.
Yeah, we did
like
6 months ago. We asked all the brothers
things out and tell them, please let us know. But again, we don't get answers from everybody. So we have the closest we can get.
Yeah, as I say, I love our men dearly. I have 3 sons and a husband, but they do not respond very quickly. We'll stay on nagging them, as they say.
Peggy,
Yeah.
this is Linda. Sorry, I missed part of it. My internet went down.
Oh, I wondered what happened. Okay.
So, but I think you can go on to the MBC project website and update your profile with that information as well. Not that that's easy for everybody to do as well. Like you were saying, it takes, but you can do that, I think.
Lee, is that correct? Yes.
Yes, that is correct. You
Oh,
can.
perfect. Good one.
Can I ask you a question, Lee?
Of
What
course.
happens when your metastatic breast cancer person passes away? How do you update? Do you update that in the profile, or because there isn't a place for that?
Yeah. Absolutely. We don't always find out. A lot of times a loved one sends us an email and lets us know. We do have a system where a national database, 14 months after someone passes, that is public information. And we do have a protocol for that. We're working on it. Really, mostly, it's important for research, but also, we want to know so that we can, let the family know that we appreciate, the contribution. So it's more of a personal connection and we appreciate knowing. So we're working on it. Dr. Wogley will probably be able to speak more to the exact protocols that we're working on and, what that's going to be. But yeah, right now we don't have a system for updating because the patient themselves updates their profiles or shares information because they're the one who consented to share the information.
Linda, Bob's in the video, so he'll live on forever.
That's right. He's with
What?
us.
I said your husband's in the
Right.
video for Count Me In, so he will go on forever.
Oh, thank you. So I should email Corey or Dr. Wagle and just tell them that he did pass away, just so they know for.
Yeah. Or I'm happy to pass that along, but they would love to hear from you and, send their condolences also, whatever you're most comfortable with. So,
Absolutely.
and
I also wanted to add that I'm encouraging the team members to feel free to contact any MBCC brothers that they feel have the expertise to help a brother in need. So we may have guys out there who have updated information because they're conferring with other brothers. So that's another possibility.
That's a wonderful situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions to Mr. Ron? Or I thank you so much, Ron, for
Yeah, I
No.
had
taking the initiative. There's
more.
Michael.
One more for Ron. Just also be prepared besides the different subtypes of breast cancer for the LGBTQ community, because you might be seeing more of an influx of that population also reaching out.
Right, and we're trying to get a very diverse community
Great.
of team members, from
Yeah.
all backgrounds. Yeah.
Yes. Bob DeVito couldn't be on the call today, but he's excited, very
Right,
excited.
and we got Gary Wong out in San Francisco, and he's
That's
agreed to come on. Yeah.
Very much so. So that's excellent. All right. So if we're going to move on a little, without further ado, we'd like to, Sophia Cornu, are you there? There we go. She's going to give us an update to where we stand with citizens and get everybody to help continue pushing this out. We want to get our 100. So go forward. I turn it to you.
Definitely. And, I really think that the theme of this call is just how powerful everyone can be together and how much you can do as an individual to contribute to the understanding of male breast cancer. Lee, we don't know each other personally, but work with other advocacy groups who are part of the MBC project, very familiar with your work. And, I think what we're trying to do is empower patients with their medical records so that they can consent and contribute that to research. There's a lot of valuable information in those records that most people don't realize. And so what we're building at Citizen is it's a platform that makes it easy to gather. It's not faxes, it's not running to the, health information office, which you can't even do right now in COVID. And then putting all of that at your fingertips so that you can not only coordinate your own care and make that process easier, but choose to share it with researchers, whether that's the MBC project or the Alliance or Dr. Lopa, who's on the call. And so really where we're starting is by recruiting 100 men to really serve as kind of the first 100 kind of vanguards who are pushing forward the importance of research and the message that you can make a difference with your medical records and your experience. And so, this campaign is about becoming 100 strong together. I see a lot of people on this call who have already joined. So thank you. And, I guess the ask to this group and to all the brothers is to encourage each other to sign up. Reach out to your friends, tell them to sign up. We make it very easy. They can connect with members of our team one-on-one. Always can email me, but really it's about helping get the word out and together becoming 100 strong. So with that, I'd love to pass it off to Dr. Lopa, because really the thing we're trying to do is further research. And so we're really fortunate to work with researchers like Dr. Lopa and Dr. Benny and others who are focused specifically on male breast cancer. But any science requires numbers. Sample size is the name of the game. And so really where we need your help is to get to that kind of magic 100 number. But really, Dr. Lopa, would love to hear more about the research that you're hoping to power with these medical records as motivation and kind of to make tangible the impact that everyone can have.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And thank you, Peggy, Sherry, for giving the platform to talk about this. So I certainly believe so much that we need to do so much more for male breast cancer, because all the research that we have been doing so far in the lab has been with females. So because the frequency of female breast cancer is 1 in 8, and because the male breast cancer frequency, the occurrence is less, so that's where all the time the experimental designs have been focused for females. And that's where it always bothered me, and that's how I got connected to Peggy. Now, definitely the data that you are going to provide, we are going to look more deeper into this, and that will be our first data set by which we are going to do a lot of epidemiological research study looking into the type of breast cancer, the stage diagnosed, the receptor status, if it's all in the question, then the geography, the ethnicity, because everything is interrelated. And if we also take in the weight, because obesity plays a role, so those different inflammatory markers, like if any chronic disease the person is having other than the cancer, because everything, there's a crosstalk going on in the body with the immune response too. So that's why if we get the data, it will be an amazing platform to analyze, and find out, because sometimes what happens is our hypothesis is something and we end up getting so much more based on, as Sophia said, as Peggy said, as Lee said, right? I mean, based on all the different variables and parameters. So that's where, I'm so excited to look into the data, but of course, all the time is the N number. Because when we think of data, the first thing that comes to our mind is the sample number. And that is the reason why the 100-man campaign is so important, because this is I think this will be the first time we will have a data set with 100. Because
Yes.
with mass frequency is so less, that's why we can never go beyond a certain number. But this will be so amazing to get all 100 data set together. And it will be like, I would say it's a dream come true, if we can get till there.
Yes. Power in numbers. That's
Yes.
what it comes down to. Look, Sherry and I look back and go, who could have believed since 2014, when we finally got together because of social media, to have so many men now together on our list, and to even believe that we could come together. And again, thank God for social media, because knowledge is power. That's what's helping to change our world in everything. Look what COVID-19 is. If we can get more knowledge, just think of the lives that will be saved. And
Also, like, I want to, Sophie, I want to ask you, and even Lee, I want to ask you, like, are you gathering any data regarding the COVID-19 with your questions? Because sometimes I would really love to see if we have any cancer patients who have contracted COVID-19 and what would be the repercussion from there. And
very much.
maybe if we can, I know it's already set up, the questions are set up, but in future, this can be another direction that we can put in one more question. Did you have COVID-19? Yes or no? So that itself gives another direction, because with COVID-19, there's a lot of inflammation in the body. So that may be another direction to look into. So those are my thoughts. And
Great point.
Yes, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
We did have one that I know of, actually,
Yes.
John Mormondo.
Yes.
He's one of our 9/11 guys. Right in the very beginning of COVID, he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the guys are trying to keep us posted. I've been communicating with Charles Hammer. He's in the hospital again, stage 4. He just let me know he's right next door to a COVID-19 patient, so he's praying that his luck doesn't give him COVID now, because everything else, I mean, the poor man, they're cutting a third of his tongue out tomorrow. So prayers for Charles, for everybody.
Yeah.
And also one more thing, Peggy, I just wanted to, yesterday I had to talk.
You're cutting out, Lopa. Get closer.
I don't know what's happening. So yesterday I had to give a talk at Carolina Breast Friends in Charlotte. Like, it was an online session, but I think we have one male breast cancer in. So I'm going to follow up with them, and I'm going to send an email tonight or tomorrow, because I had the MBCC slides in there, and I also spoke about the research work and everything. So I'm going to do a follow-up email to the director requesting that if we can be connected to the male breast cancer advocate, and so that I can connect with you with MBCC, because that's what I mentioned in the talk. And if we get connected, maybe we can request him for the 100 campaign, right? So
Wonderful. Yes.
I'm going to push towards that.
That would be amazing. Absolutely.
Hey, Peggy, I have a question
Yes.
on the 100 strong. We had talked about, you said to me, hey, why don't you put out, an appeal to the guys to do it?
Right.
And I did, but I put out the appeal on Facebook.
Right.
So,
So
my question is, how can we put out the appeal on email?
Well,
So
I can send that, and that's what I talked about Sophia. The next thing after this meeting, their webpage that they've built, which will have all your all's videos that have sent them. I finished all that. Sophia's got them today. That webpage link, we'll send that out via email, so the guys will start watching these appeals, your verbal videos.
Okay.
Michael's was just launched with a blog today. When will Ron's be launched, Sophia?
Yeah, so actually, Peggy, can I screen share, or is that?
Yes. I got to make you a presenter. Where's Rich? Let me see how I can do that. Hold on. Here we go. Let me see. Make presenter. All right. I just made you a presenter, so you should be able to share your screen and stuff.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to show. So this is our joint landing page with the Alliance.
Excellent.
Handsome Michael
Who's
there.
that handsome
Oh,
guy?
Michael.
Look at that man.
He said, that's a professional model.
I thought you guys were going to put the part on the left side of my head.
I think you should change your part too.
On our website also, like I have this whole thing on our main page in the website, so whoever comes in, so it's like Michael pops up. So
Yes. The site is amazing. I mean, it's just amazing.
And so you're going to see here is Brett's video. Michael's video went up today, and then Ron and others. We're going to add all of the videos here. Actually, we're going to make this into a tile, so it's not so much scrolling. But citizen.com with 2 I's /MBCC is where you want to be sending people to learn more. And then also where you can sign up, log in, or request a live meeting. And this is how you schedule someone with our patient care team to walk through it one-on-one. The last thing I wanted to show everyone is hot off the presses. Michael is our featured patient on the blog today.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to read Michael's amazing story and also check out his video, which is here as well. So we will continue to feature, your stories and your voices and kind of give you the tools to help make this appeal to the community. We're working hard with our other partners to get the word out. So breastcancer.org will be sharing our campaign.
That's amazing.
On their website and their discussion forums, encouraging any and all men to not only join the Alliance, the coalition if they don't already know about you guys, but also to join us in becoming 100 strong. It's really about getting the word out and getting as many men to sign up as possible. I would love if we crush our 100 men strong goal, but we need your help. It's an ambitious goal given how rare male breast cancer is, but
how many do we have now, Sophia? Tell them. Since our campaign started.
We've got 23 men who have
We
signed
made
up.
headway, guys. We're halfway ahead of what we had. And eventually, globally, we've talked about, Rod is in Australia. Is there any way, Sophia, soon that you all will have it globally?
Hey, you're putting me on the spot.
I'm giving you pressure.
So we are in very close partnership with our Chief Regulatory Officer, Devin DeGraw, who some of you know. We want to be very careful about the regulatory environment in which we operate. I'm pleased to share that if patients have received care outside of the US, they can upload their own records. So as Citizen, you can either request them and then we go get all your records for you, or you can upload your own if you have them on your computer, your genomics report, things like that. But if you are located in Canada, the UK, or Australia, as of last week, you can now upload your own records. So Ron, I don't know how you gain access to them in Australia, but our experience has shown that actually it's a whole lot easier in countries that have single payers. The US is not the best at this. And so, with your medical records, you upload it in the same way as a Google Drive or a Dropbox, you drag and drop. This includes MRI scans, PET scans, anything you have, upload it.
It's very simple. It's so
exactly.
simple to use.
And so we're really excited to invite men who received care in those 3 countries to sign up. And then Peggy let me know about the exciting connection with the men in Nairobi. We're also exploring kind of how we can bring them onto the platform and gather their records, because really, we're out to understand male breast cancer, not male breast cancer in the US. And this is really a more the merrier situation. And so we're working as hard as we can to expand access to the platform. That's both to international patients and, coming soon, the ability for loved ones to request the records of patients who have passed. So any caregiver or family member will also be able to, basically under their executor of estate legal framework. I can talk lots about this. It's amazing how much I've learned about this. It's regulated at the state by state level. So this is a times 50 problem, not a times 1. But it's really important because we need to understand the course of the disease through all stages and to have access to as much information as possible. So we will have updates as that becomes available, over the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's slated for our next release, and so we'll certainly keep you guys updated. But in the meantime, we need your help. Help get the word out, share the website, invite people to join, send them my way if they have questions. The website has FAQs and overviews of how it works. Happy to set up calls to walk through, how to sign up together. We've done that with other partners, which has worked well. So really, we're here to help make this as easy as possible and, ask for your help.
Yeah, it's amazing. And again, the females can sign up also, men and women with breast cancer can sign up for this app. Rod, go ahead. You had a question, Rod? Are you there?
Oh, we can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Yeah, let me unmute you.
Okay, you got me now.
There we got
Volume's
you.
on.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so the records from people in other countries, it goes into a common database, but is there a format that might be different in other countries, or are you just really trying to collect as much information as possible?
So that's a really good question, and I should clarify, the records have to be in English, but actually we find that our machine learning process that does all the extraction of the medical records, because there is such variability in how these records are documented just within the US, in all of our tests with international records have shown recall and precision in terms of what our machine learning is able to extract. It's actually a pleasant side, given that the algorithm has been trained on such a diverse set of records that that hasn't been an issue.
Okay, one more question. I've only found out about this through Male Breast Cancer Coalition, but what about on social media, Twitter, for instance? Do you have a presence there? Are you spruiking for business there?
I know I'm pushing out on ours with citizen names. So
yeah, by way of background, we are working with about a half dozen exclusive partners in the breast cancer space right now. We aren't supporting every single type of cancer, and so we're not, spreading it to the whole world quite yet. We are technically still in private beta, and so we're trying to be secret, but not that secret, just because actually what we found at the end of last year is that we were a bit overwhelmed with the interest, that we weren't able to support patients to the level and data quality that we have set for ourselves. And so right now we have a really strong focus in breast cancer, male breast cancer as well. And so while we are doing a lot more with our blog, as you saw with Michael, with Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, we need your help getting the word out within this community and not necessarily with cancer patients as a whole.
No, sorry, I was thinking about breast cancer patients only, and I was thinking about social media where breast cancer people were discussing things pretty much exclusively. And there's there's some very good Twitter feeds like the breast cancer social media, which is #BCSM. Have you tried that hashtag on Twitter?
I think, Rod, we should try it.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. ASCO is going on right now, so there's a lot of ASCO-related chatter on Twitter. But maybe next week we can, with your help and others, post to BCSM to help get the word out. The thing I will share, and exciting developments, I know I shared this with Peggy, coming later this summer, is really looking to stand up a variety of research engagements with partners that span all types of breast cancer, that all men would be invited to participate. And so, not only are we trying to create this tool for you to access and control your records, we're trying to create as many research opportunities for you to consent to. Again, more the merrier.
That's right.
Our conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll have some really exciting announcements in June that will we'll be inviting you to participate and consent to. Again, everything is done with your explicit consent and directive.
Yes. Linda, go ahead.
I just wanted to say BCSM has a meetup every Monday at 6, and they ask for different topics. You might be interested in seeing if you could be the person. They have different people come on. You might be interested in seeing if you could be the person or the organization that comes on and explains citizen to them.
That's a great idea. Stacy Tignano is a prominent patient advocate. She's our director of advocacy. She's participated in various ways in the past, as has Devin. Her handle is Health Privacy. They're very active in the social space. While our primary focus is on educating patients on the value of their health records and encouraging them to participate in research. And so I think that would be a wonderful forum to get that message out and to kind of educate, but also inform patients on kind of how they can take control and contribute.
Thank you. I know Stacy too. I went to Project Lead with Stacy.
Oh, good. If Stacy were here, she'd be sending you sparkles and a hug.
You would.
Absolutely. Well, all in all, anybody else have questions for anyone that's here? It's been a heck of a
Peggy,
meeting.
I just had a couple of things that I wanted to say, just to make you aware of. If you don't already know, I have made us a member of the ABC Global Alliance. I did that after being over in Portugal in November at their meeting. We are officially members, which gives us a seat at their table and voting rights. So male breast cancer, as you know, Fatima Codrosa is very intrigued by all of that and does a lot of work with it. So he's actually the leader of that Global Alliance. We are working with them. They have a 90-minute video that's going to be coming out, or a film, where they're doing trailer snippets with metastatic breast cancer patients. And after looking at the overview of it this week, I was asked for comments, and of course I sent in, because everybody that appeared was a woman. And they got back to me and told me that they had great news for us, that they do have additional funds and will be adding a man, and we are looking into doing that for them.
Good one, Sherry.
I had a conversation the other day with a gentleman who connected with us through Facebook from Spain, who has a group of men there. And we are going to be talking next week. So that will be another connection that we're making. MBCC, aside from the Brother to Brother page, I'm working with a group of the caregivers. They range from widows to caregivers of metastatic men. We have Tony, Bob DeVito's caregiver. So we're covering all the bases just as Ron is as well. So we want to bring the voice of the women in there, because I know a lot of times they have a lot of anxiety and questions amongst themselves that don't get answered, and they feel like they're out of the loop if they talk to somebody who, you know, a husband who's dealing with a wife with breast cancer. So we're working on that. That'll be kicked off in one of our other meetings. And last but not least, I had a great conversation with a young lady at Huntsman Research Facility out in California yesterday. And we are now officially members of the Metastatic Research Society. We joined that as well. So we're going to be sharing links back and forth. So just a lot of things going on, a lot of balls in the air between Peggy and I, and thank God they're not hitting us in the head yet.
Yes, this is true. True, true, true. And, you know, we've had the conference planned for August. We still are up in the air on what's going to happen there. Most likely we'll go virtual. We're going to work with Rick Davis here to see what we can do to that same weekend to have our speakers on either the Friday or the Saturday, if he can give us time on GoToMeeting, or we'll do it via Zoom, whichever works. And then hopefully just postpone to the month of April of next year, where God willing, we can all be together, because of the interest of most, nobody wants anyone to suffer through all of this with COVID. And there's Rick right there. So that
Peggy,
weekend, that Saturday of August the 7th, I think is the day. No, the 8th. We're thinking, can you
we
give us
will,
time?
we will probably have GoToWebinar, which will be a better platform for you. And
Okay.
we're going to be buying it for several months, because we're putting on a series of webinars, and so I'm pretty sure we can make it available to you.
That would be amazing. So as we work out more and more of the details, we have over 40 speakers lined up from all over the world to talk. And they're all on just standby, waiting it out like the rest of us. But by the end of June, we should have everything in place to know what we're going to do. If we postpone, I'm checking with Lowe's Hotel to bring it to Kansas City in April. He's getting back with me because they haven't even been able to open the gorgeous brand new hotel. It's supposed to open this next June 2nd, and he's hoping that they'll get open. I talked to the GM this morning, but he said, Peggy, give me until the end of June so we know what we're doing. And I said, you got it. But I told him, just for now, we're pretty sure August will only happen virtually. So to ease most of our men and their families, that's most likely what's going to happen. So but we'll make final decisions and get it out to everybody as soon as we know. So Rick, we can't thank you enough for everything you do. And then Mr. Michael has a question. Go for it, Michael.
Last 2 weeks ago, I participated. It's called Advocates in Science. It's a Komen sponsored event, but an advocate, a good friend of mine, her name is Sandra Spivey. She runs it. And today it's every Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And today they had like 47 participants, and it was about metastatic breast cancer. But when I did mine 2 weeks ago, it was with Dr. Pablo Leone, and it was strictly about male breast cancer. So if anybody's interested in participating in it, it's kind of like a coffee with a researcher, and you have a researcher in mind, I'll put you in contact with Sandra Spivey. It's 1 hour. Everybody's muted. The researcher talks. They have, you can ask questions through chat, and they've been really informative, and a lot of people have been participating. So just a suggestion.
That's wonderful. And it worked off. We sent that out. Yeah, Rick?
Yeah, we are planning a series of webinars that might be of interest to you, and it's a little early yet. We've got the first 3 set, but they are going to address the talk that people living with a chronic condition need to have with their offspring, or vice versa,
Very good.
or the talk that offspring need to have with their parents when they get diagnosed.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, and nobody's really done this before. This is not anything that we know of that's really ever been focused on. So the first one is going to be on prostate cancer on June the 30th. And included in that, we're going to have a man who has a BRCA mutation and has passed it on to his daughter. That will be one pair. Then there'll be 3 other pairs with various degrees. We're going to do one on ovarian cancer, I think, in July. And then we're going to do one for MS in September, but that's really going to be more of the patient having the conversation with their parent, because that is much more likely a situation. And we're now working with UCSF BRCA Center, and it would be good to do a breast cancer one. And if we did, we definitely would want to include either 1 or 2 of your men.
Absolutely.
And
We appreciate that.
if they had a BRCA, especially if they had a BRCA mutation that they could be passing along.
We have many of those, so yes, I totally agree. Just let us know, give us a date, we'll start getting with them, Sherry and I, and that would be amazing. That would be so helpful for the men, I think.
Yeah.
So, well, this has been a great call. Miss Pat Washburn, we haven't heard much from you today. We want to say you're here. I got to unmute yourself. Are you unmuted? No, we still got you muted. Hold on.
Peggy, I just wanted to add something.
Yeah.
I'll be making my first brother-to-brother call in a little while, and I'll be looking forward to getting more names from you and Sherry. ASAP, and I can, I'll be pushing the Citizen 100 strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's Miss Pat. We got you unmuted. Hello.
Hi. So I did actually have a question. I just need to clarify in my own mind. The Citizen app is separate from the 100 men that LOPA is working on. Is that correct? They're
No.
2 separate things?
No. The
It is
Citizens is the 100 Men Project. LOPA and them are working on a research project that they're hoping that will, be dedicated to the men and stuff. LOPA, is that correct? Yeah.
Pat, the way that we tend to think about Citizen is think of Citizen as the platform, and this is just the first of many projects to come. It's about aggregating, creating that cohort, and then once we have, we're 100 strong, it's really limitless in terms of
go forever.
applications and projects that you can, that the men can consent to support. And so this is getting it off the ground with the first project with Dr. Lopa and Dr. Benny, but it's the first of many to come.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's power in numbers. If we can say we have 100 men that are willing to talk to you, do surveys, do research, this is huge.
But we aren't going to be able to use any of the men that are in Kenya. Is that correct? Or Spain?
Potentially, yes.
But not right now.
We learned of it this week, and so
we
have to just work it through. But I'm very optimistic that
we're working on all of them.
Kenya will be able to join the platform and contribute their records.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pat, you should be outfitting them all in Mobile for 4-wheel drive for when it goes to Kenya.
And Pat's already been to Kenya once. She was there last year.
Last year I put about 28,000 miles on my car. And this year I've only put probably less than 500.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
But at least we're through the technology gods above. When it works, we're able to still communicate. Nothing's going to stop us yet, okay, guys? we're in this together, because remember, together we will change the world.
Wow.
I have one question. One
Yes.
question. Okay, so Michael and myself were signed up with Citizen.
Right.
So when you want to do the research, have we automatically given that permission, or is that something new we have to sign for?
Yeah, that's the most important question. So you have signed up and have a platform to safeguard all your records. We are right now finalizing our IRB and consent framework that will allow us to do this kind of to the highest level of, squeaky clean, ironclad out there. We're actually optionally choosing to do this under a central IRB. We don't have to because it's patient consented in the way it was set up formally. And so sometime mid-June, you will receive a notification where you explicitly consent. And that is something that, we'll work with Dr. Lopa and Dr. Benny because it's very much in relation to the research question. However, all of your data is shared de-identified. And so, there's that level of protection, but even de-identified data, we ask explicit full consent for every single use of that data. It's not a blanket consent. I like to joke there's no backdoors. We don't even have them built. So we will reach out to you and basically say, hey, there's a research opportunity. Do you want to participate? Right. Here's kind of what's in it for you. Here is the commitments to the results and the data. If there are patient honorariums in some of these engagements where you can receive, value back, we will lay that out utterly transparently. We believe there is no fine print. We don't hide behind fine print. We're going to put every single thing in front of you so that consent is made in full understanding and agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Ron, thanks for the question, Ron. So that was the first thing we Breast Cancer Hub, and we made we were very clear with Citizen that because when we get the data, it has to be anonymous and with full consent, and actually the data belongs to Citizen. So after that, when you the
patient, the data belongs to the patient.
Yeah, sorry.
The patient.
The Citizen is the platform. The data belongs to the patient, and we won't be able to get, and we cannot take any data until and unless we make sure that we have the consent of the patient. And also, when we receive the data, we have to also make sure, along with Citizen, that it is de-identified, it is anonymous, so that we can. So we have to cover all the sides, because of the IRB. Not only about that, even the HIPAA regulations will also come into play. So we will be very careful with everything because it's your data, is the risk, and until unless you give the consent, we cannot even touch it.
Right. Yes.
And one last question: if I'm talking to a new brother and they have questions on, about the Citizen platform, who is the best contact person for them to?
It's on that page, and we'll keep sharing it out. Who for them to connect with?
So Mikkel runs our patient support team, and she is actually a member of the Brothers and Caregivers Facebook groups, and so she's the one who's answering to comments, direct messages. Maybe, Peggy, after this call, we can circle back with the members who are on the call with just information, links, emails, but Mikkel at Citizen is also her direct.
Mikkel Bunch?
Yeah, Mikkel Bunch.
And just, we're going to send out a follow-up email with everything with that website, so you'll have it at your fingertips. But also, I will leave it at the top of the announcement page on the MBCC Brothers page, so it's available for anyone to have at your fingertips.
Thank you.
That works, definitely. All right, so any other questions anybody might have? Dave, we haven't heard much from you. Mr. Engel, we wanted to just make sure that we know you're here.
I'm enjoying the meeting, but I have nothing to say.
But that's all right. You don't have to. But yes, but we are definitely, as you know, power numbers. Michael has a question there. Go for it. Nope. All right, so power numbers. Let's build to 100. That's our goal.
Yep.
And anybody, you know, if you can tell one person a day that men have breasts too, you've accomplished something. So,
Peggy,
yes.
I just want to give a shout out because I don't get to see this. The first time I'm actually getting to see this gentleman, Mr. Rod Ritchie.
Yes.
For those of you who do not know, Mr. Ritchie is our fabulous editor of our stories on our website. So
We couldn't do it without him. Totally agreed. Rod's our angel from Australia.
No, not really.
Yes, really, because you don't want me or Sherry editing these stories. It would never happen.
No, I think no, Sherry can edit. I don't know about you, Peggy, but Sherry can.
I can't. I can't even spell correctly or talk correctly. Ask my husband Bob. So with that said, everybody have a very safe continued summer coming up, and we'll look forward to June meeting, the fourth Thursday, and we'll keep everybody updated on what's going to happen, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Stay
Bye.
safe.